Quickly, before the video starts, this video will be split up into 3 parts. The first part is me kind of just explaining how the example mod works, and so, explaining all the different parts of the gates and the files so you understand. Part 2 is me just making a gate to connect 2 regions as fast as I can. And so if you just want to see someone doing it and not really understand everything, but just see someone do it so you can basically just copy that while using the example mod, just skip to there. And then part 3 is me actually making my own gate in a Rainworld level editor and connecting it between a vanilla region and a modded region, and also modifying one of the vanilla region's rooms to add a new connection to connect to the gate. So that's probably the most in-depth part, and yeah, enjoy the video. Timestamps will be in the description if you want to skip to any of the parts. Hi YouTube, welcome to another Rainworld modding tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make gates between regions and custom regions. So first off, we're going to want to make our mod. So I've got an example mod here that I've created, and I will have linked in the description. And basically, we're just going to modify this instead of creating our mod from scratch. So in here, we've got our thumbnail and our mod info. README doesn't matter, except I will have that and I'll have more info in it. So under mod info, we basically, all we want to do is change the ID and the name of the mod. So I'm not going to change it, but you can change it to whatever you want. So what I like to do is I like to have my username, underscore, and then what basically the mod is. And then you can change the name here. Requirements, you can change to your liking. If you want to connect a modded region or 2 modded regions, you should add those under requirements. And basically, you just gotta get the mod ID that you want required, and under here, just add it here. So if I wanted to do the watcher, I think it would just be watcher. And then under name, you should also add that. Why are you deleting? Why are you deleting? Hello? I don't know what I did. Oh, there we go, I fixed it. You just add the watcher. And tags, you probably don't need to change that. But yeah, I'm not actually going to add the watcher. And so then under, we're going to have a look at the files. So, you can change the thumbnail if you want, but currently it's just a little sketch I made. Basically just add any picture in and name it thumbnail and delete this one. So now we're going to look at the actual gate part. So underneath the world, underneath the gates, this is where your gates will be contained. So e-gates, this is where you can make your gate electronic or not, which I think controls whether it has water or not while the gate's running. So not really that important, but you can do it if you want. Locks, this is the important part. This first number here is your karma level required to go from left to right. So in this case, it'd be from outskirts to shoreline. You can change this 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. And with other mods, you can go all the way up to 10, but I don't. And the right side is how much karma it would take to go from shoreline to outskirts. So I just have to set 2 right now. And so that's basically all important. Here we've got the actual gate. So if we look at this, it looks red because it's just rendered, but in-game it'll render properly. I made this earlier today, but I'll show you how to make your own gates at the end or later on in the video. And so for the name, you would just want to name it gate underscore the first region you're connecting, underscore the second region you're connecting. Make sure it's the region acronyms and not the actual region names. So SU for outskirts, SL for shoreline. And then you'll have a PNG file as well when you export it, which I'll show you how to do later. And basically you just name it the same thing, except you add _1 at the end. And if your gate's for some reason bigger than one screen, you'd have multiple PNG files and you'd just name it the same thing except _1 and then _2 and then _3, depending how many you have. And then so underneath modify world, you'll see the two regions that we're connecting. So the first one would be SU for outskirts. Underneath world _SU, this is where you've got this is where we contain the gate. So it basically just tells the game that, we want to add this gate to the region. And so we put underneath rooms, the gate name, and then since it has 3 different pipes, we're just going to set them all to disconnected for now. And then, so disconnected comma, disconnected, comma, disconnected. And then we have a little thing here to define to the game that it is a gate room. And then literally, I think for the other one, shoreline, it's actually just the same thing. And so this merge and end merge is basically just adding this to the main world _SL or SU file. And I need to replace there because it makes it run for some reason. So now if we open up Rainworld and enable the mod, we should be able to find our gate with warp menu. So I'm just going to exit the shell, but why can't I move left? Okay, whatever. I said W to move left. Oh, I've got my controls the wrong way around. Let me just fix that. So now, if we go to what menu, go to outskirts, we should be able to not see it there. Why not? Did I enable the mod? Now, if we go to our remix menu, we can find the mod here. See, you can actually see the ID of mods here when you want to add them as a dependency in the name. So that's simple. See here, Huntress _test, test mod. It's a mod that adds connections. And so we can enable that. And we won't need to restart the game because it's not a code mod. So now if we load into our save, it doesn't have to be Artificer, I just like to use her for testing. Open up warp menu, go to outskirts. Shoreline. Underneath shoreline, we can see SU _SL. And it's not working. Probably because the region, why isn't the region loading? Shoreline. And if we press O to open Editables and H to go to the map, we should be able to see somewhere, if I just pause the game so I don't die. Shoreline's a pretty big region, so it might take me a second to find it, but actually it should just be at the middle. Here we go. Here's our gate. And as we can see, let me just isolate it. It has 0, 1, 2. These are all 3 of its connections. So Let's see if we can actually teleport to the room. We might not be able to because it might not have any connections, but that's pipe 1, that's pipe 2, and that's pipe 3. It just starts at 0 because coding. But no. Sorry, let me turn that off. If we teleport to the room, will it let me? Yeah, it doesn't really want to let me teleport to the room. That's alright. If we go back to world_SR, we know which pipes are connected now. So these two are on the wrong side, so this should be disconnected. But over here, we can actually put any room in shoreline. Let's go SL_A01. And now this pipe here will connect to shoreline A01. A helpful tool for looking at the thing is the Rainworld downpour map. So let's just go Survivor, go to Shoreline. You can see the region acronyms here too. Let's find A01. That's not gonna work. I'll let you know when I found A01. For easier purposes, let's go with the A02. So basically just go back here, change that to SL_A02. If we look at the connections on the map, we can see all 3 of the connections are taken, unless that one is a connection, but I'm not sure. So what we should actually do is open up Rainworld and go back and have a look at the connections on the map. Oh my god, doesn't matter. If we... that shocked me. If we open up our map, we can find A02 and see that both 0, 1, and 2 are all connected. There is no 3 for some reason, but we can see there is 4. Actually, let's just teleport out of this room. There is 3. 3 and 4, however, are creature dance, so we can't use them for transitions. Now, we have 2 ways of getting around this issue. Number 1, we could get rid of one of these pipe connections, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Or number 2 is we can manually find a copy of this room, edit it to add another pipe, and then tell the game to replace this room with the edited version of the room. But that takes more effort. And so we're going to just replace pipe number 2 to connect to R1, which is SU_SL. So back here, what we want to do is we want to basically copy and paste, except place gate blah 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 with SL_A2. And then since we want to, there's 3 connections, 0, 1, and 2. We want to replace 2. That means we're just going to go replace the third one, because that's connection 2, with disconnected. And then what we should actually do is go to the Rainworld data, streaming assets, world, SL, and then the actual world underscore SL, find A02, which is just there, copy over the connections, and put them in here, but replace the last one with disconnected and get rid of the gate. And then we saw that that actually connected to a different room. So we're gonna have to go find that room, which is SLA17. Copy that, put it in, and then change it so AO2 is instead disconnected. So we disconnected these ones. Oh, we don't want to change this to disconnected. We actually want to change it to the room, to the gate. Sorry. And so now that's connected to the gate, and this one's no longer connected to AO2, so we don't have any errors when our player is trying to run through. And so now, if we reopen Rainworld, hopefully everything should work perfectly fine. Make sure to always toggle off and on the mod to reload it as well, otherwise your changes are not going to go through. Now in AO2, if we pause the game, open up the map, and go to AO2, we can see it's no longer connected to A17. Congratulations! We just changed that, and instead 2 is connected all the way to our gate. It's connected to, let me go find that again. It's connected to a gate, and the other side of the gate doesn't need connections because that's going to be in outskirts, right? And then we're just going to actually click save. So if we go out of the map and back into it, it just stays up there. Okay, it would appear Rainworld is having trouble loading our room for some reason, but that's okay. Instead, what we're going to do is, this just gives me a chance to show you how to make a gate. So if we go open up our level editor, we can open level, we'll just go gate, and then let's go, not shaded, let's go this one, outskirts to drainage system. And now what we can do is play around with the level editor, change things, but I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to immediately render it. And we should find it in our file browser. Now, before we do that, we need to keep in mind, this only has 2 connections, this connection here and this connection here. So we need to go back and change that in our file structure, but we can close this now. We can go back to our gates and drag these 2 in. But we do want to change the name to SL instead, because, we're connecting to, oops. We're connecting to shoreline, not drainage system. And just make sure SU underscore SL, SU underscore SL. Now, if we go back to modify, back to SL, it only has 2 things, so we're just going to delete one of these and hope that is correct. And then we should be able to reload our mod, and hopefully it works. to open up our map. The room should still be there, except it's looking a bit different. Oh, there we go. We can see that pipe number 2 is connecting to pipe number 1. Oh, don't want to do that. And hopefully if we go down, it freezes our game. Oh, but real quick, we can see that the pipe has actually changed to a gate pipe. And that's good. I have suspicions of why the game is freezing, which is that Outskirts is recognizing it. Oh, okay. But we should be able to see it as well. If I can find the middle of the region, because that's just where it starts. Wow, can I find it? Can she find the room? I don't know, but you know what we can find? A room that is going to connect to. Specifically, we're going to go with A40. Now, it's got 2 pipes, 0 and 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to world_su, and we need to change this to be only 2, and then we're going to connect it to A40. So su_A40. I think that's it. Yes. And we're going to go do the same thing. Going to go su40, and then we need to find its connections. So its first connection, 0, is to su_A17. That's fine. And then the second one, we want to change that to this gate. That's easy peasy. And then the other room it used to connect to, SUB07. We need to change it so that its first one doesn't connect to A40. So we're just going to change that to disconnected underscore comma SUA02. And then that should be it. Everything should be connected now. If Rainworld would actually like to load for once, the room, everything should be working. Let's just check the map real quick. This is connected to, oh, it was hidden. No wonder I couldn't find it. This is now connected to that. Save that. So I want to go to SUA40. Which is it's a swarm room. There's the gate, and it's not going to let us enter it. Why not? Why does the game freeze? I don't know. I genuinely could not tell you. Oh, all the gates are freezing. Now that's interesting. Alright, Huntress will get back to you with an answer as soon as she can. Huntress is back. She thinks she has found the problem by looking at her other mod. So currently, Underworld modify gates, we have locks here. Underworld gates, we have locks here. This shouldn't be here. We need to go modify world, create a new folder, call it gates, and move it here. Because currently, we're changing, I think, every single gate in the game to just be this, which is not what we want. We want to just add it. So hopefully this should work. Yeah. Let's give it a go. Let's go to outskirts, A45. Just test if this gate is working. It's letting me walk to it, that's for sure. Okay. So base game gate is working. Time to see if our gate is working by going to A40, which is here. It's letting us walk up to it. We go in. We've got our gate here with 4 karma on that side and 2 karma on that side. Now I'm going to come back with a slug here that actually has karma and see if it wants to load the regions. I'm sure this might have been a speedrun I was doing. Or maybe it was a food. Who cares? It's being used for testing now. So let's just teleport straight to the gate. And try head on through. And boom, we made it to Shoreline. And so now we have a simple gate that connects between Shoreline and Outskirts. Go us! So now that we've got one whole gate working, based off of, the practice one, or the example mod, I will quickly go through making another gate, just to show you how fast it is. So we're going to go World's Gates. Basically, we can just not delete that. That'd be awesome. Copy and paste it. Let's connect instead. Let's go Shaded Citadel and Sky Islands. Do the same here. Make sure SH underscore SI. Make sure this has a underscore 1 front. And let's go back to mod, test mod, modify world gates, locks. Just copy paste this. Make sure to have SH, SI. Let's change this to 3 and 3. And go back to this. Copy this. Change that to, I think this has to be a lowercase, by the way. SH for Shaded Citadel. I think so. You know what? We can go check. Shaded Citadel, SH. Yes, correct. Now, underscore SH, under SH, we want to change this world underscore SH to this. Change that to SH, SI. It's the same gate, so it only has 2 connections, so we only need that. We can delete these rooms. And since it's the first side, we will actually want to change that. And let's go find a room to connect. So if we go to Shaded Citadel, go rooms, let's instead connect, because we're going Sky Islands, right? I think we should go up here, SHA10. We'll either change CO4 or A10, depending whether A10 has any connections. So let's go have a look. Alright, so Shaded Citadel, A10. This one, right? Open up the map. A10 only has 1 connection. So if we wanted to, we could find a copy of the room and modify it and then, tell the game to replace it, which I will show you how to do in a different tutorial. But instead, we're just going to replace CO4's first connection, because it's 0. So let's go back to U. Let's change this to SH underscore CO4. Take CO4. Make sure the first one we're going to change to this instead of that room, and then make sure the other ones are still fine. So 0, 1 connects to SHSO2. 3. Wait, no, that's 3. 0. 1 connects to CO5. Then 2 connects to BO3. Then SO2, and then finally, this one connects to AO7. And remember, we changed the first one, so it connects to that. And then what it usually connects to, A10, we're just gonna, A10 only has one connection, so it should be easy. We just take A10 and change its one connection to disconnected. Easy peasy. And then for Sky Islands, let's go find a place in Sky Islands that we want to connect. Sky Islands. Down to Shaded Citadel, right? Let's... I wonder if this room now... Let's go with CO1. CO1X, sorry. So if we turn off that, let's find Sky Islands. CO1X. Let's hope it might have another connection for some reason. It does actually. So there is a pipe down. Oh, sorry. There's a pipe up here that is not connected. 0 is not connected to anything. So if we go save this, go back to our mod. Let's duplicate this again. Change that to SI for Sky Islands. Change this to SI for Sky Islands. Change this one to disconnected, and then what's the room? CO1X. SI underscore CO1X. And then SI underscore CO1X. We actually don't have to remove anything, so we can just make the first one connect to the gate instead, and then add its remaining connections back. So 2, so 1 connects to CO6X. That's easy enough. Just change that to an X. Okay, and then the other one connects to AO3X. So SI underscore AO3X. And then boom, this should all be working. So now we can just exit back, reload the mod, and have a look. But yeah, here's the gate. And we didn't have to remove any room connections. It makes you wonder though why there's just an empty room connection here that the developers left in. Maybe they planned for the region to be bigger, who knows? But yeah, we can go through. Oh, something fun to play around with is also the palette of rooms. So we can just change this. Oh, let's actually keep the Sky Islands. But we want to add a fade palette. So let's find Shaded Citadel's palette. This is good enough. And then let's have it like dark. And let's click save, create specific, then save. And then hopefully, obviously we can go through the gate. Should work, should send us to Shaded Citadel. And now that we've created a palette, the room settings will be saved. So other things you can do in the room settings is change these things up here. We could add other things like, what's it called? We could add insects around. One of my favorite things to do is somewhere, I think, doesn't matter, but you can add like different decorations and stuff too. I like to add vines if you can find them. There's somewhere, but stuff like lethal water makes water turn into acid and stuff. It's fun. I would recommend playing around with all that stuff. And then you just click save up there. And also, hello Lantern Mouse. I wonder if that means our connection is working. Would you look at that? And obviously you can't go back through the gate once it's used, but yeah. And so that's how fast it is to just make a working gate, go between regions. And if we go back to our gates under world, we have our settings for command. That's what create specific is. But if when we click save, it creates the settings for us. And that's awesome. And so basically, if you want to make gates between regions, that's how. And so, yeah. Now the rest of the video will be basically me creating my own gate and then connecting it to a custom region. So that's a little bit more difficult, but I'll show you how. So, yeah. The first thing you want to do is go to this GitHub repository and just download the code. This GitHub repository is awesome because it contains vanilla versions of every single room as well as modded rooms as well. So it makes it easy to connect modded regions. And so I already have it downloaded. And so once you do that, open up your level editor of choice. Mine is Rained. And we can open level. If we go to where I have it downloaded, level editor projects, we are actually going to modify a room. So I'm thinking we connect outer expanse to the mast. Yeah, that sounds fun. So what we're going to do is we are going to find a room that we want. Let's go with OE Ruin 18 here. So under vanilla and downpour regions, let's find outer expanse. Give it a second to load and find OE Ruin 18. Once this is loaded, we can see the room here, and let's give it a little edit. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to create a little platform here. That's not a platform. With a... Let's actually extend this wall a little bit. And we're not even going to add a platform. We're going to need to remove the blocks. So we're going to add a room entrance here. No, we're not. We can add the room entrance way outside. No, we can't. Can we not? I thought you totally could. And then we want to add a shortcut entrance here. So I'll actually add it here because you want to have one thing of space. And I'll add some shortcut dots. I guess you can't do it outside the room borders. That's all right. What we'll do is we will just extend the wall again. Why not? Wall, but actually, what if we did something like this? Yeah. We changed that to that. We added that. And then in the middle, we can have the pipe here. Yes. Okay, so we'll have the shortcut entrance here. And we'll just have it lead up to here. And so we can connect the shortcut to the room transition. And basically, that's all we need to do, but may as well just tile it a little bit like they want. This is a little bit annoying here. We're just going to remove that. What is this? Chaotic stone. Let's make sure we've got some chaotic stone. What does this use? This uses bricks and dirt. Okay. Let's find bricks just to make it look a bit more natural. And dirt. Yeah. Let's just blend it in a little bit more. Even if it's going out of the screen, we should still try to blend it in. This is the whole camera thing. And you know, if we even wanted to, we could modify the room a little by going to environment And why not? Let's drag the water up a bit. It's our mod, we can do what we want with the room. And so if we go back to tiles, change the layer we were working on, we actually don't really need to. So then we can just, everything should be done and we can just render it. Now, let's go get our files and go back to our mod folder. Now here we want to go modify world. Oh, actually, do we want to? Yeah, I think so. Oh, modify world, and then we're gonna create two folders. We're gonna create outer expanse and outer expanse dash rooms. Now under rooms, we're gonna put this in here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Make sure that's all hunky-dory. And let's go to world sh, steal that, put that into here, change it to OE for outer expanse, and we are going to go to mods, like cats, world, outer expanse, find the actual world outer expanse, and look for the connections. Now, here's OE18. We're gonna paste that into R1. Now, I actually don't know what order it will be in because I have forgotten, but we can kind of take a guess. So we ruin back is the most. Okay. So I think we can take a guess. Unless, is 14 next? No. Yes. I'm not sure if it goes left, right, down, or if it goes left, down, right, down. But actually, I'm pretty sure it goes left, down, then right. So actually, what we want to do is we want to add a disconnected at the end. And let's just load into our mod to see if it works. Let's see if our room has changed. Has to be. It is. Okay, and we will see that our room has not changed whatsoever. All right. Once again, this is why you always look at your mods. Let's just exit out real quick and or always look at other people's mods. We actually are not going to put this under modify. We just want to put this under world. Outer expanse rooms. Yeah. We can minimize that for now. Let's reload our mod and see if it's worked. Alright, back to outer expanse. There we go. And we can see the room has been changed. And I have messed the connections up. But honestly, it doesn't even look that bad. There's just what's it called? There's a little blinking flower here. Let's just move that. Let's move that over to here. Maybe? Yeah. Let's save that and then have a look at the map. Why don't we? Okay. So it has actually become the first one. So we actually just need to change them around. It's not too bad. Just change this there. And then I think all these connections should be fine. Yeah, those look fine. Okay. Awesome. And now we can get to modifying the mast. Let me just toggle off the mod while we do this. So I should actually probably install the mast while this happens. So just give me a second. So what we want to do is, first of all, we should go back to our mod, change the mod info to add to add the mast. So let's just have a look at what the mast's ID is. The mast. It's actually just the mast if we have a look at it. See? The mast. Awesome. So the mast. And then so that's enabled. Let's just do that while we wait. Save this. We can actually change the version to that. And we can close all of that. Rainworld will restart any second now. No, yes it will. And now let's go back to our level editor of choice. Rained it is. Oh wait, I already have rained open. And we're just gonna open. Go back to level editor projects. Let's go modded regions. Let's look for the mast. There it is. Oh, but first we should probably look for a room to change, right? So let's go the mast region. This one's a bit old, but it'll work. If we go modded mast, let's find a room to change. If it loads. It just keeps downloading. There we go. Under the mast, we are connecting to where again? Outer Expanse, yes. I like this room. I think there might... Is this a shelter? No, it's not a shelter. All right, let's connect here. So actually, we're not even going to modify this room, even though we could, which we would just do by opening it in here. So, wow, there's a lot of files, isn't there? Let's have a look. D06. We could honestly just change this and export it, but instead we're just gonna change the connection, which shouldn't be too hard. Let's go back to our mod, modify world, create a new folder, call it, what's it called? TM for the mast, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Let's go copy a world folder, change that to TM, and find the room. So what's it called? D06. TM underscore D06. We change the connections. So I'm just gonna guess that that's connection 1. That's connection 2. That's connection 3. Yeah. So TMDO4 is first. Then we'll go TMDO5. Let's disconnect that. And then last one, TMDO9. TM underscore DO9. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Now let's open up Rainworld and have a look. That should be correct, but let's go have a look. Odd info. Oh, I added an extra W. I look a little bit silly now, don't I? I might have to... Can I just reopen the menu? No, I'm gonna have to restart the game. Whoops. If we go back, here it is, test mod, and its requirement is the mast. So if I hold over it, these are all its requirements. If I hold over the mast, you can see that this mod requires it. Awesome. So now it's a requirement, and hopefully we should also have ended up modifying it. I'm pretty confident in the fact that I will have modified it. Just, I probably got the connections wrong. Let's go have a look. So first of all, let's just check outer expanse real quick. Everything hunky-dory? It is. Sure is. And look, even the flower has moved over here like we told it to. There is still another flower over here that we should probably also have moved. But the pipes here as well. Looks pretty good, and all the connections should be fine. If we go through here. And so let's go check out the mast. It was, what room was it? D06. If I can find it, here it is. Where am I? Okay. So hopefully if I did everything correctly, there should be no connection over on this side. Pretty sure I saw a connection down there, so. Oh. Yeah, there's no connection here. Oh, pesky scavenger, so. Oh, that's not bad. But yeah, there's no connection. So now, for the final step, we just gotta go make our own gate. So let's do that. Once again, opening up a Rainworld level editor of choice. I'm gonna make a really cool gate this time. And so here you can watch a time lapse of me make my awesome gate if it opens. There we go. There we go. And it is done. Well, time to take this. Obviously go to Wild Gates, paste it into here. Then we need to rename it to outer expanse to the mast. And change this one. We have underscore 1. And now that we've done that, we can go to modify Wild Gates locks. Just for testing purposes, I'm going to make these both 1 comma. But let's go outer expanse underscore mast. Easy peasy. And time to add it in, I suppose. So gate underscore outer expanse underscore the mast. First connection. Left will be outer expanse. I'm on outer expanse right now, so we're going to connect that to OE underscore U. Connect U to U, and connect this. Nothing. Disconnected. Now we can take this. Go find our mast. Add U. Change U to disconnected. OE underscore disconnected. Change U to that, and then that to that. And that should be everything. Hopefully it's working. Unless I got the pipes around the wrong way, and then it's going to be working the wrong way. But yeah, time to go test, I suppose. Let us go to Outer Expanse. And Ruin 18. Oh, I forgot to set it to a gate, but I mean, oh, I forgot I can't swim. Alright, back to setting it to a gate. That's probably a good idea. Alright, let's modify world, the mast, change you to gate, modify world, outer expanse, change you to gate. What? I wonder what happens if you have only one of them labeled as a gate. I'm sure it's fine. Ruin 18. Is it going to make me go into the pipe? Okay, well, it appears it's a gate. Let's real quick just move this flower. Let's move it here. Save that. And have a look. Well, would you look at that? Looks like a gate to me. So, can I get up? Yes. Oh, that's weird. Why is there water up there? Oh, maybe if I change it to an electronic gate, it'll get rid of the water. Yeah, so the room's got blocking pipes and stuff. I've decorated it. Is this water fake? It is. Isn't that weird? It's cool though. I like it. And then obviously we can go through the gate. Does this gate fit the theme of Outer Expanse or the mast? Not really. But that's okay. Oh. Oh, because I made those like platforms. You can just swim through it. Don't explode, please. Okay. Then off to the mast we go. Wow, would you look at that? We're out of here and greeted by a threat theme. Lucky us. And there you have it. That's my tutorial for making gates between both vanilla regions and modded regions, as well as, you know, oh my god, and I'm dead. As well as, you know, replacing a room. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned a lot. I will have the example mod listed below, as well as all the GitHub repositories. Thank you for watching!